Hey y'all, insight number 4. Remember I was saying here, Hebrews 12 shouldn't have even been a break. It should have gone 11 right through 12 because it is exactly the same thing. I don't know how they broke it where they broke it. Do they just count the verses and go, yeah, that's long enough, it's about the same as the others? Because it really just leads on from the same thing. So carrying on directly from chapter 11, verse 1 here talks of a cloud of witness, saying, "Wherefore seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us." Excuse the noise down there, they'll be gone soon. Cloud of witnesses, which is exactly what chapter 11 is a description and a listing of all the witnesses that have come prior to us. Well, actually only some of them. There's a whole lot more. There's some in your own family lines. There's some that are in the Book of Mormon that were in that time frame prior to, this time frame. There's a whole lot. So, yeah. Have a look at that. It's just the cloud. So many that you cannot see. It's a cloud of witnesses. And it's the cheerleaders that line that sideline of the race or the court or whatever. Again, if you're going to use it as a race or a journey or a game field, however you're going to teach this best to whoever you're teaching it to, or however best you understand it, these are the cheerleaders that line that area and cheer you on and support you, who hand out cups of water and, energy drinks, or well, not so much, but, those energy gels, hydration gels, like, here's some brightness, here's some goodness for you to keep you going. So you need to collect those stories and have them. And think of, who's in your cloud? And how can you be more valiant to be in someone else's cloud? So you can encourage them. That's a really good question, right? Who's in your cloud of witnesses? I've got pretty much all the ones that were mentioned in chapter 11, some from church history, a lot from Book of Mormon, definitely Moroni, very much. Ether, Xenos, he's a good one. Church history, I've talked about Mary Fielding Smith, Emma Smith, even just like Eliza R. Snow. There's just so many, so many. Some personal ancestors of mine, incredible. They are in my cloud of faith, cloud of witnesses, of just goodness. But live in and by each other's stories of faith, absolutely. And then in verse 2 it goes on to say, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. Now Jesus is the author of a few things, because he's the author of our salvation back in chapter 5, and that's true. He's also the author and finisher of our faith. So what does that mean to you? How does that tie in for you? Goes on to say there, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. Again, going back to what we talked about over in Hebrews 8 and 9. It goes in there. Verse 3 says, consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your mind. So stay strong in your mind. It's about relationship with Christ. 12 is awesome. It just continues on beautifully from that chapter 11. So kind of try and read them together if you can, because it will tie in a whole lot more. But Jesus is the author and finisher of our faith. Well, he is the author of our faith because he teaches us how to have faith in him, and he's the finisher of our faith, being that he will finish that off for us. As I was saying in the other one, if you're not quite there, you're trying to have faith. You're going to have 100% faith? No, you're not. It's always going to be fluctuating, but he will always finish the bit that you're not having that day. Today I'm probably sitting at around 75 to 80, which is pretty high. Sometimes it's around 90 if I've had a really good spiritual experience. For most people, I'd say it sits anything between 50 and 70% that are Christians. Because while we have faith, it's not 100%. And people might disagree, and I'm saying no, but the bit that you do have, you have 100% of that. Like, that doesn't waver. But sometimes you're going to have a spiritual experience that's going to draw you closer, and you're going to be feeling more. And other times you're going to be feeling that you've sort of been missed out and left alone and not heard. The answers are taking longer. The situation you're in was unexpected. A whole lot of different things. Or you, not a faith crisis, just a faith experience. Because remember, if you're going to have faith, it's going to be tested and tried. That's what we talked about in Hebrews 10. It's definitely going to be tested and tried. And in those moments, your percentage might drop a little. So he will come in and finish and complete whatever's not there. And if you're a 1% faith person and not a Christian, but you kind of have a, might. It's all right. He comes in with 99. It just works like that. Brilliant. But yeah, great questions to ponder and find more ways to invite him in and be closer in relationship with Christ. So these are good reminders too. If he's going to be the finisher of our faith, the author and finisher of our faith, he's the completer of that missing part that we just don't quite have yet. But how can we increase that so that we have that better relationship, so that the bit that he has to complete is less? Because isn't that going to be the greatest sacrifice and gift that we could give? Oh yes, it is. Better than any Christmas gift we give to anybody, better than anything we could do, is to sacrifice, serve others, love others as Christ sees them, to try and be as Christ-like as possible so that he has to fill in less. That is the biggest thing that gets him. That's his love language, if you will. That's what makes him just feel so awesome, and I want my friends to feel awesome. He's my friend. I want to serve him too. So that's what I try and do. Am I perfect at it? Heck no. So far from it, but I'm trying, and that's the effort too. He loves effort. So have a look at these things. If he's the author and finisher of your faith, how will he finish our earthly faith journey? How does that look for you? What does that sound like for you? Drop comments, please do. And great questions to ponder and find more ways to invite him in and have that close relationship with him. So have a think on that. We're going to finish up in Hebrews 13, so stay around. We'll get there in a second. I'll see you there.